Hi, welcome to our brand new Microsoft Azure Fundamental AZ 900 Practice Questions 2022. In this video, we are going to discuss all the dummy questions of Microsoft Azure 900 exam. I'm your host Kushal Mehta, and let's get started. Question 71. Is the following statement true? The cost of Azure services in private preview decreases as the service becomes publicly available. And the options are Option 1, yes. Option 2, no. And the correct answer is Option 2, no. Explanation. The correct answer is no. The private preview feature is always free, so this is not a correct statement. Private previews are usually the first release of a product and are to help customers try out the service, provide feedback, verify if the service is actually needed, and shape the future of the product. In general, the number of customers invited to private previews is limited, and these customers are expected to spend time with the product to provide feedback. When the service becomes publicly available, it will be in full production mode, fully supported by SLAs, customer support, and run on production workloads. Since the service is now running normally, you will be charged for it. Question 72. You have been asked to clean up the Azure resources that you are not currently using to avoid incurring extra costs. Which of the following services should you remove to lower the costs? And the options are Option 1, private IP address. Option 2, public IP address. Option 3, virtual network. Option 4, network interface. And the correct answer is Option 2, public IP address. Explanation. Option 2 is the correct answer. Static public IP addresses in the ARM deployment model and reserved IP addresses in the ASM deployment model begin billing from the second hour after the IP address has been created, taking into account the time needed to properly allocate the IP address. Billing for this ends when you delete the IP address resource. For all other public IP addresses, billing begins when the associated resource is started and ends when the associated resource is deleted or stopped, and then deallocated. Therefore, it is possible to stop billing by deleting unused public IP addresses. Option 1 is incorrect. There is no charge for private IP, whether static or dynamic. Option 3 is incorrect. Azure Virtual Network is free. You can create up to 50 virtual networks in all regions with each subscription. Option 4 is incorrect. The network interface is free to use. Question 73. Which Azure management tools are available for Ubuntu? Please select the three most suitable options. And the options are Option 1, Azure CLI. Option 2, Azure PowerShell. Option 3, Azure Mac Management. Option 4, Azure Portal. Option 5, Azure Console. And the correct answer is Option 1, Azure CLI. Option 2, Azure PowerShell. And Option 4, Azure Portal. Explanation. Options 1, 2, and 4 are correct answers. Ubuntu is a distribution of operating systems based on the Linux kernel, so you can take advantage of the tools for Linux. The Linux operating system supports Azure management tools. So the Azure CLI, Azure Portal, and Azure PowerShell are the correct answer. Question 74. Is the following sentence true? You can merge two Azure subscriptions into one by creating a support request. And the options are Option 1, yes. Option 2, no. And the correct answer is Option 2, no. Explanation. The correct answer is no. You can't merge two subscriptions in Azure. It is incorrect because each subscription is a separate entity that cannot be merged. However, you can transfer ownership of a subscription to another account. In this case, you will need to manage two subscriptions with one account. Question 75. Which of the following Azure services provides voice-related features? Please select the two most suitable solutions. And the options are Option 1, Azure Functions. Option 2, Azure Bot Services. Option 3, Azure Cognitive Services. Option 4, Azure Machine Learning. And the correct answers are Option 2, Azure Bot Services, and Option 3, Azure Cognitive Services. Explanation. Option 2 is the correct answer. Azure Bot Service provides core components for creating bots, such as the Bot Framework SDK for developing chatbots. Option 3 is the correct answer. Azure Bot Service integrates powerful AI capabilities with Azure Cognitive Services to enable you to keep up with technological advances without any machine learning experience. Improve the user experience by allowing them to interact with your bot using natural language and voice features. Azure Cognitive Services allows you to incorporate mechanisms such as speech recognition into your applications from APIs without the need for machine learning expertise. Option 1 is incorrect. Azure Functions is an event-driven serverless computing platform that can solve complex orchestration problems. You can use this to develop serverless applications. Option 4 is incorrect. Azure Machine Learning is a development platform for coding machine learning. Developers and data scientists can take advantage of a variety of productivity experiences to build, train, and deploy machine learning models faster. Option 5 is incorrect. Azure IoT Hub is a platform that manages connections with IoT devices. It provides a cloud-hosted solution backend that allows you to connect virtually any device, extend your solution from the cloud to the edge with per-device authentication, built-in device management, and scaled provisioning. Question 76. Which Azure service can be used to collect events from multiple resources into one repository? And the options are Option 1, Azure Analysis Services. Option 2, Azure Monitor. Option 3, Azure Log Analytics. And Option 4, Azure Event Hubs. And the correct answer is Option 4, Azure Event Hubs. Explanation. Option 4 is the correct answer. Azure Event Hubs is a big data streaming platform and event capture service. It can receive and process millions of events per second. By using Azure Event Hubs, you can import events from multiple resources into a centralized repository. Option 1 is incorrect. Azure Analysis Services is incorrect because it is the data analysis service used to build the data model. Option 2 is incorrect. Azure Monitor collects monitoring metrics from a variety of on-premises and Azure sources. It does not have the ability to centrally manage events. Option 3 is incorrect. Azure Log Analytics is a service that can collect and analyze logs of Azure services. It does not have the ability to centrally manage events. Question 77. Please select the correct option to fill in the following blank. From Dash, you can track company regulatory standards and regulations such as ISO 27001. And the options are Option 1, Azure Cloud Shell. Option 2, Microsoft Cloud Partner Portal. Option 3, Compliance Manager. Option 4, Microsoft Trust Center. And the correct answer is Option 3, Compliance Manager. Explanation. Option 3 is the correct answer. Compliance Manager allows you to track, assign, and validate regulatory compliance activities for organizations related to Microsoft Cloud Services. Option 1 is incorrect. Azure Cloud Shell is a browser shell for managing Azure resources and is not relevant here. Option 2 is incorrect. The Microsoft Cloud Partner Portal is a collection of common inquiries and response documents. It is not relevant here. Option 4 is incorrect. The Microsoft Trust Center is a web page that contains information and details about how Microsoft supports security, privacy, and compliance and transparency in all Microsoft Cloud products and services and is not relevant here. Question 78. You want to configure a virtual machine to run a PowerShell script that can create an Azure resource. Solution. Configure a Linux virtual machine to run script from the Azure CLI tools. Will the solution meet the above requirements? And the options are Option 1, yes. Option 2, no. And the correct answer is Option 1, yes. Explanation. Yes is the correct answer. Users can run PowerShell scripts on Linux operating systems that already have Azure CLI tools installed. Question 79. You're building a process in Azure to store over 30 terabyte of data and perform data analysis with Microsoft Power BI. The amount of data is large, but the frequency of access to the data is low. Choose the two best solutions. And the options are Azure Data Lake. Option 2, Azure SQL Database. Option 3, Azure Cosmos Database. Option 4, Azure Database for PostgreSQL. Option 5, Azure Synapse Analytics. And the correct answers are Option 1, Azure Data Lake, and Option 5, Azure Synapse Analytics. Explanation. Option 1 is the correct answer. Azure Data Lake is a storage repository suitable for holding large amounts of data with 30 terabyte of data stored. The data lake can scale up to terabytes and petabytes of data. Option 5 is the correct answer. Azure Synapse Analytics is a data warehouse that can perform data analysis in cooperation with Azure Data Lake. You can import or export data directly from the Azure Data Lake store to your Azure Synapse Analytics. Option 2 is incorrect. Azure Cosmos DB is incorrect as it is a fully managed NoSQL database service for modern app development. Option 3 is incorrect. Azure SQL database is incorrect because it is a fully managed intelligent relational cloud database. It eliminates the complexity of configuring and managing high availability, tuning, backup, and other database tasks with a fully managed SQL database. Option 4 is incorrect. Azure Database for PostgreSQL is a relational database service in the Microsoft Cloud and is therefore incorrect. Question 80. Multiple Azure virtual machines are hosted in your Azure environment. You want to make a virtual machine named VM1 accessible via HTTP from the internet. Select the two best solutions from the following. Option 1. Change your DDoS protection plan. Option 2. Modify Azure Firewall. Option 3. Change the Azure Traffic Manager profile to US Government. Option 4. Change the network security group. And the correct answers are Option 2. Modify Azure Firewall. And Option 4. Change the network security group. Explanation. Options 2 and 4 are correct answers. By setting network security groups and firewalls, you can set communication rules between the internet and Azure resources. You can also set communication rules between Azure resources. For example, You can set the accepted protocols when communicating with Azure resources and the range of access source IP addresses. Option 1 is incorrect. DDoS protection is a service to prevent DDoS attacks and has nothing to do with controlling access to VMs. Option 3 is incorrect. The Traffic Manager profile is a DNS based load balancer primarily used for traffic distribution across regions and has nothing to do with controlling access to VMs. Question 81. You are using Azure AD Connect to configure single sign-on. For this, you have enabled staging mode, but you need to check the synchronization result between ADs. What would you use to check this? And the options are: Option 1, the display of the Azure AD Connect console. Option 2, Azure Monitor. Option 3, run start add sync cycle from Azure PowerShell. Option 4, Synchronization Service Manager. And the correct answer is Option 4, Synchronization Service Manager. Explanation. Option 4 is the correct answer. The Synchronization Service Manager is used to configure the more advanced aspects of synchronization engine and to verify the operational aspects of the service. This allows you to check the synchronization execution details and status. Option 1 is incorrect. You can't see this detail on the display of the Azure AD Connect console. Option 2 is incorrect. Azure Monitor collects monitoring metrics from a variety of on-premises and Azure sources. You cannot view the synchronization details here. Option 3 is incorrect. Start add sync cycle from Azure PowerShell is an execution command that immediately reflects the AD settings. There is no way to view the synchronization status here. Question 82. Is the following statement true? You can download the regulatory compliance report from the Azure Security Center. And the options are: Option 1, yes. Option 2, no. And the correct answer is Option 1, yes. Explanation. The correct answer is yes. A new feature in Azure Security Center, the Regulatory Compliance Dashboard, is now available. This compliance dashboard continuously monitors your Azure and hybrid environment against specific compliance requirements. It can also provide security assessments and recommendations as needed. This dashboard also provides actionable information on steps to reduce risk factors in your environment and improve your overall compliance regime. The information generated by the dashboard can be provided to internal and external auditors as evidence of compliance with the standards. Compliance reports can be easily generated and downloaded directly from the compliance dashboard. Question 83. Your company currently has an infrastructure that utilizes 100 servers in an on-premises environment and now requires the flexibility to configure additional servers on top of this. This solution should minimize cost of capital and operating costs. What solution will fit the above requirements? And the options are: Option 1, complete migration to the public cloud. Option 2, hybrid cloud with Azure and on-premises environment. Option 3, add server to data center. Option 4, complete migration to private cloud. And the correct answer is Option 2, hybrid cloud with Azure and on-premises environment. Explanation. In this scenario, you need to create flexible environment, meaning that you are able to add additional servers on top of 100 servers you have in your on-premises environment already. As a requirement, you must control costs in terms of both operating costs and capital investment. Therefore, Option 2, hybrid cloud, is the correct answer. While utilizing the server in the on-premises environment, you can add cloud server resources, keeping the additional investment costs low. Option 1 is incorrect. A full migration to the public cloud can be quite costly. Option 3 is incorrect. Additional servers in the data center are not suitable because they require a physical server and initial investment is expensive. Option 4 is incorrect. Private clouds provide additional resources to users but are costly to prepare and maintain. Question 84. Please select the option to fill in the following blank. You have an application that consists of an Azure web app with a service level agreement of 99.95% and an Azure SQL database with an SLA of 99.99%. And the options are: Option 1. The SLA for this application is the multiplication of both SLAs, which is 99.94%. Option 2. This SLA for this application is the lowest SLA associated with the application, which is 99.95%. Option 3. It is 99.99% because it is the highest of the SLAs associated with this application. And option 4. It is the difference between SLAs of two Azure services, so it is 0.05. And the correct answer is option 1. The SLA for this application is the multiplication of both SLAs, which is 99.94%. Explanation. Option 1 is the correct answer. The option is correct because the application's composite SLA is found by multiplying the individual SLAs of which the application consists of. The application is built on Azure web app and the Azure SQL database. The individual SLAs are 99.95% and 99.99%. And so the overall application SLA is a product of these composite SLAs, 99.95 into 99.99, which equals to 99.94. Question 85. Is the following statement true? Companies can extend their internal network by adding their physical servers to the public cloud. And the options are: Option 1, yes. Option 2, no. And the correct answer is option 2, no. Explanation. The correct answer is no. According to the responsibility sharing model, physical servers are hosted and maintained by the cloud service provider, in this case Azure. Companies can extend their internal network to the public cloud, but they cannot add physical servers to the public cloud. Question 86. Please select the correct option to fill in the following blank. Dash allows you to view users who have shut down certain virtual machines in the last 14 days. And the options are: Option 1, Azure Monitor. Option 2, Azure Event Hubs. Option 3, Azure Activity Log. Option 4, Azure Service Health. And the correct answer is option 3, Azure Activity Log. Explanation. Option 3 is the correct answer. You can get this record by using the Azure Activity Log, letting you track who has shut down virtual machines in the last 14 days. The Activity Log is an Azure platform log that provides analytics for subscription-level events. This includes information such as when resources change or when a virtual machine is started. Option 1 is incorrect. Azure Monitor is incorrect because it is used for detecting and diagnosing problems throughout the application. It is also used to collect and analyze data from the Azure public cloud and on-premises environments. Option 2 is incorrect. Azure Event Hubs is an event capture service and is incorrect as a method to record VM changes. Option 4 is incorrect. Azure Service Health is incorrect because it is for providing health checks of the various Azure services and resources in your Azure subscription. Question 87. Is the following statement true? Inbound data traffic from your on-premises network to Azure is always free when using Azure Express Route connections. And the options are option 1, yes, option 2, no. And the correct answer is option 1, yes. Explanation. The correct answer is yes. Azure Express Route is used to transfer data from your on-premises data center to Azure Public Cloud. When you use Express Route to transfer data from your on-premises data center to the Azure Public Cloud, you are not charged for inbound data transfer. Question 88. True or false? When using SaaS, it is the user's responsibility to configure high availability. And the options are option 1, true, option 2, false. And the correct answer is option 2, false. Explanation. The correct answer is false. Software as a service is a software solution that users purchase from cloud service providers such as Azure, and it is form of using already completed software via the internet. Therefore, a high availability configuration should be managed by the service provider. Thank you for watching this video. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Buy our premium AZ bundle with 90% off. Check link in the description.